I got the two crazy kids upstairs who refuse to go to sleep.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Okay, I was gonna throw in some kind of Etrigan joke, but I can't think of one. Anyway, that's right, kids. Welcome back to another episode of Electric Mullet, the super. Wait, oh no, there's my opening. Is that a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's an electrified mullet.
It's a mullet.
It's the Monday Night Mullet.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Anyway, yes, kids, we're back. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is the Owl of Steel himself.
Swooping back into Metropolis.
And Superman Blue himself. It's Mr. Tyler Patrick.
How's it going, everybody?
Superman Blue, so there's the electric.
I know. About to bust out some Boogaloo. Or Avenue. Not sure which one I choose.
Can I just
Well,
say...
I like Electric Avenue, yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, can I just say I've noticed a disturbing trend in our country, or at least in my area. It was like a week or two ago. We were at the mall, and I saw a young boy, maybe around 12 or so, and he had the mullet. He was rocking the mullet. I was like, why are we bringing this back?
No, Phil.
It's everywhere.
For a while, I've seen it where it's the cool, like it's so bad that it's cool to have in middle school and in high school. We had a long conversation with our children the other night what the mullet was, and then we had to break it down and show them what the skullet was, the frollet. We just sit there and was googling mullets, and then we had to show them the perfect one. It's the Joe Dirt mullet.
Oh, the Joe Dirt, yeah, that is perfect.
Remember, kids, your friend may try to get you to buckle under the peer pressure, but just say no to the mullet, kids.
There is no good mullet.
That's right. Yeah, and it will haunt you because social media is a thing now.
Yeah,
it wasn't when we were kids. So when any of us had mullets when we were kids, there's no evidence. But there's evidence now, and it will follow you to the grave.
Especially me and Justin. I mean, back in the 90s, I mean, we had it back then. I mean, all you have now is probably like some like blurry pictures and stuff that are like faded. Probably most.
Maybe a Polaroid, a Polaroid laying around.
I have a couple Polaroids, yeah. All scratched to hell, yeah. Right.
I had more of like the beetle, just because like it just like wouldn't grow long; it just grew thick and then down. So it was just like.
Oh my god, my parents, their wedding pictures. My dad has long hair, my mom has short hair.
Oh, really?
It was 1977. I was like, oh god.
Well,
and all the fashion proves it, yes.
I mean, at least your dad didn't have the mullet.
Yeah, no, it was like 70s hair.
He's got that like brush, like just.
Oh yeah, the mullet brush. Yeah, got to keep it tamed and under control.
It just hit me. I swear, you look. It's just like the suit he's wearing. I swear, the hair. I swear, he looked like one of the Bee Gees. I swear.
Nice.
Well, 77. That was huge. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Like the Bee Gees, you're like sweet. The mullet, you're like no.
I have to find that picture to show you guys. Anyway, all right. Yeah, but I just wanted to say yes. Let's not bring back the mullet, kids. Come on.
Yeah. Let's move forward, not backwards, please.
Those who forget the past, or those who forget the past, are doomed to repeat the bad hairstyles of our ancestors.
That's right.
Party in the front, and the business in the back. Now that's the reverse mullet. Well, not for that.
If we can save one child from getting a bad mullet, this podcast will have been worth it.
Absolutely.
Please donate.
All be worth it.
As we walk down and find children who suffer from mulletitis. And
Yes. It's a cause of awareness.
We're causing awareness in the rural areas of Appalachia. Areas between Pittsburgh, Virginia, and Columbus.
There's the T-shirt. Just a picture of 90s Superman, probably like the one down there in the corner where it's just like kids. Yeah. Superman had the mullet, so you didn't have to.
learn from his mistakes. Don't repeat them.
He might have fought Doomsday, but you didn't. Don't wear a mullet.
I died and escaped the afterlife, and all I got was this damn mullet.
In the mirror. Oh, this mullet put me back in the grave.
And it just like his hair grew to here, curled, but then the hair back here just kept going.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. All right. Should we jump to these issues?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, because yes, we're not even at the mullet yet.
No, we're pretty far from it. Yeah.
We have ways to go. We're not electric yet either, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah. The mullet's before the electric. Yeah. All right. Oh, I was setting episodes for next year. We're gonna have we're gonna get the Exiled next year.
Ooh, good. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Love that one with Mongol. Yeah.
Yeah. Supergirl.
Yeah. Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a whole issue with the Matrix. So yeah.
No, kid, she did not go like this.
Not that Matrix. That's the good Matrix.
Well, the first one.
Anyway. Did she take the red pill or the blue pill?
Well, both. Took some kind of pill. She dated Lex. We're gonna get there.
The red pill. That'd be the red pill for the red hair.
Oh. Chasing redheaded men. Who is she, Lilith Hellfire? Anyway, yes, tonight we're going to cover Superman #4, Adventures of Superman 427, and Action Comics 587, starring Etrigan the Demon.
That was cool.
Yeah, love that one.
Yes, who someone here does a podcast about about Etrigan once again with that Madman Russell. That right. Man of the Midwest, Russell.
That's right.
Like an animal.
Yes. Gone the Form of Man, the Etrigan podcast, just restarted recently. And we were privileged enough to have our good pals, Matt and Jacob from the Bronze Age Monsters podcast on to join us to talk about issue #1 of The Demon from, I think it was 1973, 50 years ago. The Jack Kirby classic. So go check that out. Yeah.
No, I invented that, you dick.
You guys constantly talking rhyme?
No.
That's what I said. That's what I told him. I said I want Russell to rhyme in that opening every time.
We're working on an opening script, yeah.
I mean, or you can rap like Etrigan did in the Batman Damned.
Oh, yeah.
He was like a hip hop rapper.
Got to rub that one in.
All right.
I don't know about that.
All right. So we'll start off with Superman #4 from April 1987, Bloodsport.
This was cool.
Oh, yeah. All right. Writer and penciler John Byrne, of course. Inker Carl Kessel. Colorist Anthony Tollin. Letterer John Costanza. And editors Andrew Helfer and Mike Carlin. Jimmy Olsen is having lunch with Lucy Lane when a maniac named Bloodsport begins firing wildly into the restaurant, rambling about the days when Mickey and he got their cans shot off in Nam. Cops converge on the scene, but Bloodsport hops on his motorcycle and speeds off. Superman arrives and consults with Metropolis Special Crimes Unit Inspector Maggie Sawyer. He uses his infrared vision to trace the heat signature from Bloodsport's bike. Superman tracks him to the Kenmore bowling alley and engages him. Bloodsport begins teleporting high-tech weaponry into his hands, including a rifle that fires kryptonite needles. Bloodsport shoots and successfully wounds Superman with that specific gun to it. To his surprise, Jimmy Olsen arrives to try and help Superman out, but Bloodsport escapes. Superman is sent to a hospital's trauma center to undergo surgery with Dr. Sanchez, who ultimately is forced to give the Kryptonian a controlled exposure to the kryptonite bullet fragments themselves to allow him to complete the operation without Superman's superhuman resistance to injury interfering. Recovering quickly with his healing abilities, Superman knows that the only two people aware of kryptonite are Lex Luthor and Metallo. Since only the former would have the resources to create a criminal like Bloodsport, he is the logical mastermind behind the killer. Lex Luthor is indeed the one who hired Bloodsport to kill Superman, but he had not counted on Bloodsport's insanity. As the civilian casualty rate rises, Luthor sends his own armored team out to stop Bloodsport. Superman faces him again in the streets of Metropolis. He uses his heat vision to ionize the air around Bloodsport's hands, disrupting the teleportation wave that allows the maniac to materialize his weapons. Luthor's team also arrives, prepared to take down Bloodsport. Bloodsport's brother, Michael Dubois, arrives. Although Bloodsport spoke as if he were in the Vietnam War, in truth it was his brother Michael, who served and lost his arms and legs. Michael calms his brother down. Bloodsport's rampage ends. All right, so thoughts?
I felt this issue was pretty intense. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's pretty
just
heavy.
from the opening of like the massive amounts of bullets that are being shot, and on page 2, the first panel, the people just being hit. You know, I mean, so like it's not graphic the way it's done, but it's still. And I mean, they do draw Bloodsport pretty much as just a crazed vet, you know, like looking. I do find it just kind of interesting how Jimmy's able to escape. You look at how those bullets are coming in, and he hits his watch. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna call this like the douchiest Superman line ever. This better not be another flat tire, Jimmy. Like he's showing up, he doesn't smell. There's like he didn't hear anything.
Yeah, he should have heard all those gunshots and screaming and stuff. Yeah,
you know, so there would be still people screaming and stuff going on when he shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, you have,
better not be another flat tire, Jimmy.
And then you go to page 4 and you look at the bottom 2 panels of just like the aftermath of the bodies inside and his face. And then it's like, it's so weird because this issue is so super serious, but then the whole how he's getting his weapons is so out there sci-fi.
The teleportation stuff, right?
Yeah, like his weapon systems doesn't quite line up with like his look. His looks look like he went into like a military surplus store, grabbed some stuff off the shelf. But then he has these crazy high-tech weapons that just kind of off kilter the story. It's really, but then just how serious and dark his story is, where he's not even the one that was in the war. Like how fractured his psyche is, that, you know, it was his brother who went instead of him.
Yeah.
And just,
I liked that twist because it meant that, you know, it's all this guilt that because he was a draft dodger. It was supposed to be him that went to Vietnam, and his brother went instead and got his arms and legs blown off. So he feels this enormous amount of shame and guilt about that, which essentially drives him crazy and turns him into Bloodsport in the first place. It's really cool. I love that twist at the end.
It would have been interesting if like he was like going after, say, people he felt were responsible for it, like you know, government officials or whatever. He's just like shooting random people. So that means they see how much more he's just lost it. And I mean, considering that Bloodsport's one of those villains that you never really hear about, and then, you know, appeared recently in the Suicide Squad, and his it's just kind of interesting to finally see his comic book origin debut here.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because it's like we get like another version of like Bloodsport like later on, who's basically like a white supremacist. But this version of Bloodsport, yeah, we don't see him again until Adventures of Superman 526 in 1995.
Wow.
Well, basically the two Bloodsports go at it. So yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, they don't pick this back up till Byrne is long gone.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also interesting because the mass shootings and all that stuff back in this when this issue came out, that wasn't near as regular an occurrence as it is now. Like we have a mass shooting pretty much every day now in America, but that type of stuff we didn't see a whole lot of back in 1987. So I remember reading that as a kid and being like, "Oh man, he just walked into a McDonald's and just started shooting up everybody." And I mean, in that panel, you can see like amongst the people that he's shooting, there's like a Catholic priest and a kid, like a young kid, and some old woman and stuff like that. So
yeah, a young kid.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, you don't see any blood, like Tyler said, but it's obvious that these people are getting murdered. They're just getting mowed down. It's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was pretty heavy to read, at age 10 in a Superman comic book, all these people getting just mowed down. And the scene where Superman's like looking at the aftermath, the carnage, like in horror. But I mean, it was a good story. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is in horror, but it's almost like, I don't know. I didn't really like the way they drew his face because it was almost comical. But yeah, I just that line about better not be another flat tire, Jimmy. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying like, oh, that didn't he smell the blood or anything or stuff like that. But I'm like, just if your senses are that strong, you probably try to like block that stuff out, especially in a big city. Because like, you can imagine the smells you smell and the things you'd hear. Just
yeah, that's true.
Like millions of people. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get a little overwhelming after a while. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just this is just something Superman just it's so, pardon the expression, so alien to Superman, just like the senseless violence and stuff, and
yeah,
and it really gets overshadowed. They kind of just like breeze over it real quick, but this is the first appearance of Maggie Sawyer.
Oh, really?
Oh, it is. No kidding.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought she came about earlier than this. But that's cool. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, oh, hey, they met for the first time. They it's written by like, oh yeah, they've met before and stuff. But
I think it kind of goes back to this idea that the Byrne era reboot is not as much of a reboot as you think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as much as that clean reboot that you kind of were led to believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
as we see in the next issue too, that we're going to talk about.
I mean, pretty much what Byrne did is, basically, like he wanted Superman to be the only survivor of Krypton, and like what they did with a lot of people, after Crisis, they depowered a lot of people. Like Superman's not literally juggling planets anymore.
That's my Superman, juggles planets on the weekend.
Yeah, and coming out of Crisis, like Wally West could only run like the speed of sound or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
For some reason, I don't know. I don't. They wanted to make it more grounded, but it was just.
Yeah.
Eventually, it all gets turned back around.
Yeah.
I only let my Superman when he can fly out and blow out the star with like a poof.
Just for fun. Just for funsies.
He goes out and like blows out a star.
Just
I'm surprised Byrne didn't have him start by just leaping. Like Graham Morrison did.
He didn't want to take him back that far.
Yeah. I think DC is probably like, no. That's a little. Probably like, nah, that would have been
that's unnecessary.
We need him to fly, guys. Okay. No one will know what we're doing if we don't.
Right. Right.
No. I believe he can fly.
Calm down, R. Kelly.
Whoa, no. Don't shower me with that.
Oh, get your umbrella out.
Oh, jeez.
Not the hat.
Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, and Carl Kessel becomes the new regular inker with this issue, replacing Terry Austin.
Yeah, I love his inks too. I mean, Terry Austin and John Byrne are the dream team, but Carl Kiesel's great too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and then we got that whole thing with Lucy and Jimmy in the beginning. He's like, come on, just let me in. I know there's something shady going on at that airline you work for.
She's like, we've been dating for 2 years. You're not just using me for my contacts, are you?
No, I want to scoop Clark Kent and your sister. Come on, baby. I just want to scoop them all.
I'm not touching that. I'll just let you take it there.
Hey, pervert. Anyway, so Lex, do you think he was just appalled at the body count, or was he just like, oh, this is getting too big? This is gonna end up getting traced back to me?
Yeah, I think he was worried that eventually it was gonna all go back to him. Yeah. And that's what he wanted to.
I was gonna say he didn't seem like he cared about human life before this, so you know.
Yeah. I think he wasn't expecting the sheer amount of death that happened. Yeah.
I thought I was just waiting for the line. You know, how many of those people worked for me?
Yeah. Now I have to hire more people.
You're costing me money, Bloodsport. Yeah, that's the real reason he sent those dudes after him. It's because he's costing him money.
Yeah, he didn't care about people. He's like, look, I can't afford to not have everyone show up for work.
That's right.
And I know it's Lex, but I'm like, he's sending guys out. It's like, yeah, shoot him with kryptonite. Instead of just like sitting there and be like, I got the ring, I got the kryptonite ring. Let me just go about my business, and knowing Superman can't physically touch me,
No, that's not Lex's way though.
Try flying under the radar. Yeah, no.
It's not the way.
He's just got to keep going after him.
You should have just tried to fly under the radar, wore that ring, and then eventually, we just would have had to have our little friend from Gotham hang him out the window,
Batman, my favorite character.
By his ankles. Yeah. That would have worked.
See, Bruce understands Lex more than Clark does. Come on.
I always thought that they should have traded nemesis for a day. Batman go after Lex and Clark go after Joker, and see how that works out.
Just wait till early next year, Superman #9, the Joker comes to Metropolis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They would get everything cleaned up, and it would be over.
That's true. It'd be too easy. Yeah.
Superman would just like kill the Joker and be like, okay, I killed him just like I fought Doomsday. He was a threat. How to end it. My bad.
Vaporized his head with his heat vision.
Bruce, how did you stop Doomsday prep time?
Yes. They stopped him the same way I would. Phantom Zone projector.
Batman, my favorite character.
Now Ray is tuned out.
I always said that. Like,
The Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
How would you do it? Just put him in the Phantom Zone. Or before Doomsday could fly and all the stuff they added to him now, just throw him in space.
We'll just float around forever.
Yep. That's Doomsday. What I said.
Doomsday, that big bony plot device.
Which one's next?
Well, Bane was, Doomsday was the original plot device. Then there was Bane.
Right. Yeah. Shortly after.
And then technically was there Parallax next?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or
because it segued into how Jordan, like they took out all of them.
Oh yeah, once the Superman thing, the death of Superman went big, they tried to do a big event like every year. It's like, then there was Nightfall, then there was Emerald Twilight, and
Armageddon 2001.
remember when I made you cover every issue of that, Lil?
Oh God, that's evil, Phil. That's evil.
Yeah, that's right. Then she found some stooge to do all the dirty work for her, huh, Justin?
Oh, there's still some things I won't touch though. 0 Hour, for example.
That's the thing. She'll do 0 Hour.
I know. I won't touch that with a 12-foot pole. No, thank you.
Hey, all right. Any other thoughts on this one, or should we get to the Adventures one?
Yeah, let's go over the Adventures. Yeah.
All right.
This was one I hadn't read before, actually. This is my first time reading this one.
This will be interesting.
I'm gonna throw this out. This is my least favorite.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what? And I know what comes to it. It really a lot does. This thing gets wrapped up pretty quickly. I can't remember how many more issues, but yeah, it'll come and go, and then it's like nothing really comes of it. So.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
It just felt. I'll let you give the summary, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. Adventures of Superman 427, April 1987. Mind Games. Writer Marv Wolfman, penciler and inker Jerry Ordway, colorist Tom Zayuko, letterer Albert de Guzman, and editors Andrew Helfer and Mike Carlin. Superman flies to Quark to interrogate President Marlowe as to the recent armored attacks that have taken place in Metropolis in past weeks. He bursts directly into the presidential palace and pins Marlowe to the wall. Soldiers try to stop him, but he melts their weapons with his heat vision. Miles underground, two strange mutants named Piranha and Zahara of the Circle. Piranha and Zahara. Sounds like, did Elon Musk have 2 more kids? Fall out of that chair! Of the Circle, pay close attention to events transpiring above them. Piranha believes that Superman may be part of their chosen circle, and he establishes a mental connection with him. Superman begins suffering seizures as dozens of disturbing images from his past flicker through his mind. Piranha perceives everything that is happening. In truth, he is causing it. Superman revives and realizes that he must fly away to recuperate. He goes to his hotel room where he finds himself assailed by the same nightmare's visions. Piranha, meanwhile, continues to witness Superman's memories. The process is extremely painful, and he begins to doubt whether Superman may be a lost member of the Circle. The mental link becomes too much for Piranha, and he falls over dead. Zahara, his wife, is grief-stricken and swears vengeance against Superman. All right, thoughts. Oh yes, and then we see in one of the hallucinations we see a big green fire-breathing monster. Because of copyright, we can't call him Godzilla,
but it's pretty much implied.
Yes.
Although we are going to be seeing that for real pretty soon, aren't we? Justice League versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's coming. What,
October
next month? October. Yeah.
I was gonna say you have Saddam Hussein on page 6,
right?
Like,
hey, buddy!
Yeah.
There's no beating around what that is supposed to be.
Let's go bomb Canada, buddy. Oh yeah. This is we're ramping up for Desert Storm here, and
plus the name of this country. I mean, Korak. I mean, that's pretty obvious who that's supposed to be. Yeah. Yep.
All I'm gonna say is like this. I feel like this issue, it works in like theory. Like there's the idea of someone getting in like this mutant thing. I feel like there's 2 stories going on that conflict. Like this whole mutant thing, I feel like is one storyline that could be explored, but then the whole other, like with this guy's a whole with Saddam, is a whole nother story. I feel like it's 2 conflicting storylines that really aren't meshing for me.
I agree with you. Yeah.
So I feel like there's this whole weird storyline of like these people in the sewer, that I'm like, who are they? What's their story? Because I think it's neat.
How did they get there? Like,
yeah, like
why are they
this,
in Korak? Like,
like this psychic's causing Superman to have these crazed visions about his origin. Like that's some neat, cool stuff. But it's just not lining up for me.
Was this the first appearance of Prana and Zahara, or did they appear in a few issues before this?
I'm trying to remember. Did they might have appeared in the shadows, but I think.
Well, we're reading them in order and haven't seen them yet. So.
Yeah, because I don't remember them appearing in any other stuff. So it would have been nice to have a little bit of explanation about who these people were, how they got to Korak, what they're doing there, how they feel that they have a connection to Superman in the first place, because they just kind of leap to that conclusion.
Like he's one of us. Like why? Where?
Yeah, why do you think that? Like, what makes you think that? Because he has powers? Like, there's so many other people on Earth with powers. What makes you think that? It's weird. It's very strange.
Oh, and was anyone confused when he was hallucinating and then he's attacked by Lex Luthor, Bizarro, and Synapse? Or were you like,
Synapse?
Who the hell was Synapse? Well, we will see him in a future issue when he goes by the name Combator. But he's hallucinating a figure he hasn't faced yet. So
Phil,
that was weird too.
I think you lost me and Justin when you said it. Was anyone confused? You didn't have to finish that sentence. We were just confused.
Yeah. We were totally confused.
I don't know. I don't know if scheduling or what was going on, but they had him imagine someone he's going to face in the future under a different name. So
Synapse,
This feels like you skipped issue 1 and you're reading issue 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, it feels like you were dropped in the middle of a story that had already started. Yeah.
I almost feel like the mutant, I don't know, like it's like the mutant people should be a backup or something. I don't know. It just you just did not go.
I wonder too if like the pacing is just weird on these adventures issues too, because it's like you're kind of like every month you have to drop between the 2 John Byrne issues.
Maybe. And he's doing his own thing separately from Metropolis in these issues.
Because like the first 2 we covered, it was Superman's fighting those machines in Metropolis, and then the next issue there's kind of a time jump, but you see what kind of happened because it was Emil Hamilton like doing the flashback thing. So
right.
That one was cool.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah, but I'm wondering,
the art in this is great. I mean, the art's great. I can't fault any of that. I think it all looks excellent.
Oh yeah, Jerry Ordway.
Yeah. I mean, Prana looks good. Zahara looks good. The weird sequences when they were messing with Superman's mind, and it was like, I really liked how like the image was shifting, where it was both. You would see both of Clark's parents, and then kind of in between the image, you would see the real who it was, Prana and Zahara, like behind the illusion. Yeah. That was really cool. I liked that effect. That was visually very impressive.
Yeah. Just that cover of Superman like holding a tank over his head.
Yeah. I like the idea of him going to Korak and being like, why are you messing with Metropolis? Why are you doing this stuff? I mean, I trace these weapons to you. What's your problem? I like that. And I feel like that could have been its own, that could have been like the main story of this issue, and I would have liked it more.
Yeah, we could have, kind of did, they did that whole story without the mutants, where it's basically like, how much do I do? Because they even he do that little, like, the little text boxes at the beginning where it's like, he could, he could conquer, but he has the wisdom not to, want to take over the world and stuff. Yeah.
And in that, if they had done it that way, then they could have introduced these mutants as like a subplot in the background, and then set it up for the next issue where they actually start messing with Superman.
Yeah, because didn't they say like their people like gave Marlowe those weapons, like the giant machines and stuff?
Yeah, the circle. Yeah.
But now you're making too much sense as a writer, man. You got to calm down. You got to, realize that they're like, just throw it on a Superman story. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I love like this early era because it's like we haven't built out the Rogues Gallery yet. Like we haven't even gotten the Brainiac yet or anything. So it's
No
like
Brainiac,
anytime something
yeah.
happens, he's like, "Is this Lex? Is this Lex?"
I mean, what else? Who else is it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's something sophisticated enough, it's like, well, I guess it's probably Lex.
Yeah. Yeah, Synapse. That's so funny. I was wondering who that was. I was like, who the hell is Synapse? I don't remember this guy.
I know it's funny too. He knows his name. It's like, wait a minute.
It just what makes you feel like, are we missing something with something
Yeah.
published out of turn? Or
I know. I was pretty sure, and I was like, let me look at the notes and double check this. So I'm pretty sure he hasn't encountered this guy yet. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole the combatter thing, and then that'll be when we get the the first gangbuster.
Oh, Gangbuster. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Love Gangbuster.
Yeah, I don't think we're too far from Gangbuster. Oh, I can't wait till we get to the second Gangbuster. That's trippy.
Oh yeah, that is a trippy one.
Let's not spoil that, kids. All right. You any other thoughts on this one, or should we get to the action?
Yeah, this is my least favorite of the three we read.
Yeah,
tonight.
I think we all agree. This is the least favorite. Yeah,
it's weird. I felt like it could have been 2 issues, and it would have been a lot better. Yeah.
I don't know which one's my favorite. I kind of lean towards the Bloodsport one as my favorite, just because I felt like it had that serious and that heart to it. Even though like I had a few things like, but this one's cool.
Yeah.
And was there a Action Comics 587? I can't remember. It's like it didn't happen. That joke will make sense in a few minutes, kids.
Well, I was like,
All right. Let's get to the action.
Yeah.
Action Comics.
Okay, I want to say real quick before you get the summary. I read this one first. Okay, no, I read this one second, and just opening the first page and glancing at it, it almost looked like I missed something when I went to the next one. Like when I started the next issue, because that looks like it could be Lucy and Jimmy. I was like, wait, was that supposed to be Lucy and Jimmy back last? I was like,
Lucy got a better hairline than that fool. But that cover, man. I mean,
it's so good. Yeah.
I don't know. What's the theme of this cover?
Trying to donkey punch me now.
Etrigan strangling Superman from behind.
Choke that chicken.
I'm telling you, you know what? Before the month is out, I believe I'm going to do an episode where it's me and Lilith Hellfire drops, or as I'm going to say, Lilith AI.
Yes, Lilith AI. I like that. Yeah.
Before her return, I think I'm going to do an episode just me and the drops. I think it's going to be that Daredevil episode, Justin. I think it's going to.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think it's good. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that'd be hilarious. Like,
you've been saying for a while you're going to do it. Yeah.
I've been teasing about it, and these fools keep saying, "Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it."
Oh, I love it.
Be like, oh, Lilith AI. Should we give this the issue a bad grade?
Don't be the troll.
Okay. I'm a Sente. Not to get too far off topic, but I'm a Sente. I saw on social media today, Justin. I almost sent it to you and Lilith. You see, Chris Evans is engaged.
I saw
married.
that.
He's
married
on.
now.
He's married.
He's
off
officially off the market.
Off the market, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Chris Evans can get it all day, every day.
That's okay. I can still appreciate from afar.
Yeah, he's not your favorite though.
No, Henry Cable's still single, so I'm still all sad.
No, I mean, what's his face?
Rick Cosnett.
Rick Cosnett is your
Rick
favorite.
Cosnett. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. He'll always be number one biscuit. My favorite biscuit.
All right, Adventures of Superman 587, April 1987, Cityscape. Writer and penciler John Byrne, get those shekels. Inker Dick Giordano, colorist Tom Zayuko, letterer John Costanza, and editors Andrew Helfer and Mike Carlin. Jason Blood and his friends are brought to an antique store by Glenda Mark, who introduces Jason to the shop owner, Mr. Jank. Intrigued, Glenda examines a new item of a miniature cityscape, but upon opening it, she is stabbed in the arm by a sharp protrusion that shoots out. She immediately turns and she says, "You better buy me dinner first." She immediately turns into unearthly white tower, which expands at an alarming rate. More blades reach out from the growing tower to penetrate Harry and Randu, infecting them as well. Jason dodges the blades while reciting a spell to unleash the demon, who looks for a way to disable the towers, which continue to incorporate more victims, spreading exponentially. Meanwhile, while returning from a Soviet space station, what is it, Superman 4?
Yes.
It's 1987.
Actually, yeah, good. Yeah. That tracks.
Yes.
Superman notices the unusual structures bursting up from within Gotham City. Boy, modern comics would never let us get away with no appearance of Batman. You know, it's like, we're in Gotham. Where's
Batman, my favorite character.
Recognizing them as a threat, the Man of Steel instinctively tries to smash them with brute force. Etrigan attacks Superman and stay his attack, which Superman mistakes as hostility. The two battle each other until Etrigan manages to point out that the buildings are living things and the ones he struck are actually bleeding. Horrified that he may have harmed innocent victims, Superman asks Etrigan how they can stop this. The demon uses the Tempest Frangit spell to send Superman back in time to undo the unstoppable magic at the source. Superman finds himself in England, 1162 AD, where Etrigan appears before him in a vision, explaining that he cannot enter his own timeline and that Superman must seek out Jason Blood. Superman soon enters a village suffering from the plague and is directed to Blood's home. Blood welcomes the stranger, who he expected to show up after sensing a magical disturbance. However, he is surprised to hear that the stranger knows of Merlin's demon and swiftly leads Superman to the pool of knowledge. The waters founded by Merlin himself reveal traces of black magic 200 leagues away. A journey Blood feared would take days becomes a short flight for Superman, who drops Blood upon request as they reach a small hovel. As Blood plummets downward, he begins his recitation, and it is Etrigan who crashes through the roof. An old man and his granddaughter jump in fright, but the young girl foolishly acknowledges the creature by name, and Etrigan hurls the girl into a wall. Superman is just as shocked as her grandfather until the girl reveals herself to be Morgan Le Fay. The evil sorceress wastes no time snaring the two interlopers in a stone cage before forcing the old man to finish his work on the delicate cityscape he's been crafting. Superman breaks free from the cage and rushes to interrupt the sinister enchantment on the ornament, which Etrigan warns could cost him his life. Back in the 20th century Gotham, Glenda examines the ornate cityscape and opens it up, a little disappointed to find nothing inside. Jason points out another artifact that would suit her better, which she takes to the counter. Harry looks out the window with excitement to see Superman fly over the city, with only Jason knowing how the Man of Steel altered the course of history and saved them all. Okay, Tyler, you don't have this problem with Justin. I'm always like trying to keep it straight in my head. I'm like, okay, who did this? Okay, it was DC Morgan Le Fay, not Marvel Morgan Le Fay.
Right? Yeah, they're very different.
Yeah,
they're very different. Yeah,
Well,
I don't love those public domain mythology characters.
Right.
only
Under
one
that
got down.
mask, she's a very wrinkled up old woman. Yeah, she doesn't look nearly as exotic or as alluring as the Marvel Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, this one didn't get the grab the attention of Dr. Doom. No, sir.
No.
All right.
I love this one. Yeah, this one was great. I mean, obviously, being a Demon fan, this one appealed to me. But it was great to see Morgan Le Fay again. It was cool. The whole concept was cool of turning people into this crystalline, this living crystalline tower. I thought that's really kind of cool. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because they looked almost Kryptonian when I was first reading it. I was like, is this a Kryptonian artifact that this because like when she touches it, it looks like is this going to be
Right.
tying into Pandora or something? Like,
Yeah.
And what was the plot? The plot was to turn everyone into buildings.
I mean, I guess it's a way of making cheap lumber.
Sure. Well,
Build a city
if
quickly with its own residents.
she
I
kind of
just-
wants to be alone, so there you go. If everybody's buildings, then she's got a wish.
I just think it was kind of just Superman and the Demon fighting, and neither of them are really like paying attention or listening to each other. They're just like, you're just like, come on, guys.
Classic superhero fight, definitely. And we get a good dose of Superman getting blasted with the demon flame, which can actually do some damage to him because it's a magical attack.
Yep.
So
I do like he's like, I'm just going to throw Superman in time.
yeah,
So.
that was cool.
So I'm trying to remember if he knew pre-crisis, but this is where, at least post-crisis, Superman learns that Jason Blood is the host for Etrigan.
Yeah, I can't remember if they met in the 70s. I know in Etrigan and Batman teamed up a bunch of times in the 70s.
Batman, my favorite character.
Even appeared in as a backup in Detective Comics for a while. Yeah. But I can't remember if Superman and the Demon ever met in the 70s. I don't think so. I feel like this was their first meeting. I'll have to ask Russell if he remembers.
I love when Morgan Le Fay traps them in that stone cage, and they have to explain. It's like, oh no, they just use magic to create the stone cage, so I can break free because the stone is not magic. So,
Very handy. Very
that
handy.
exactly works, but okay. I feel like that's a working ground,
Yeah. I feel like Morgan Le Fay would have thought to maybe enchant that stone with a little magic to fortify it, but that's all right.
Yeah, but it's page 20. Come on.
Yeah, you gotta wrap it up.
I do he leaps at the Superman leaps at the thing, and Etrigan's like, no, you could die. And Superman's like, you know what? He's like, if this works, I'm probably not going to be here. I've never been here at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Time travel.
Which always gives me a headache because I'm just like, okay, so if it never happened, then Morgan Le Fay's thing did go through, and then the whole thing starts over again, and then the Superman has to go back in time, and then it kind of doesn't happen. But then if he doesn't go back in time, then it starts over again. It's just like
it makes more sense when it does happen, but he stops the lady from picking up the artifact.
Exactly.
So the part that doesn't happen is her actually touching it and starting that chain, but what happened in the past did happen.
Yeah. By the lady you mean Glenda Fivehead.
Yeah. Poor Glenda. She needs a new weave so desperately.
Magic. But yeah, all Jason Blood's friends end up doesn't one get sucked into hell or something or
oh yeah, they all
I know this rat who gets blinded eventually because he shows up in that detective arc and he's blind.
Yeah, they all they all start to rethink their acquaintance with Jason Blood pretty quickly as the years progress. Definitely, yeah. And this one we don't see Etrigan rhyming a lot. We were actually talking about that on the podcast, and we're all kind of unanimous in the belief that the rhyming thing didn't really happen until after Alan Moore got a hold of him in the Swamp Thing issues in the 80s. And then after that, because that was so big, that kind of stuck, and it became kind of a recurrent theme after that. But before that, like in the Jack Kirby series, he doesn't rhyme hardly at all. In this, obviously, he doesn't. I don't think in the Batman guest appearances he rhymed very much, if at all, if I remember right. So yeah, I think we have Alan Moore to thank for the rhyming stuff.
Yeah, around what year was that Alan Moore started him rhyming?
I think it was 88.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 88. I think.
Okay,
I
so you
think
heard
that was that Swamp Thing story. So it was
you
like
heard
a
it
year
here first. Heard it here first, kids. Etrigan started his rap career in '88.
And we have Alan Moore to thank for it.
Thanks, Alan.
You get a problem, I'll solve it or revolve it. There's an album cover. Oh, there's the logo for your show. Etrigan on a rap cover. Come on.
Yeah, I love it.
But no, yeah, this one was good, and the Bloodsport one was good. I mean, the Adventures wasn't bad, but yeah, it was. I'd say it was the weakest of the three.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was, in contrast to the other two issues, it was just very strange, and it didn't hit the same way. Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem with having two, like you said, two burn, and you're kind of stuck in the middle. You're trying to carve out one thing, but it's still just not. It's not flowing, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, because again, it seems weird because it's like, yeah, each book is supposed to flow into the other every month, but it's like it seems like Marv Wolfman's trying to do his own thing.
It does seem that way, yeah. And in a way, that's kind of good because it gives you some additional variety every month.
Yeah.
You don't have the same thing. Like with John Byrne doing 2 books, there's the risk of it being a lot of repetition. But thankfully, that doesn't happen either because in Action Comics, we have the team-up formula. So there's a nice variety here with these comics every month. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is like the pacing too is so weird because it's like Byrne like moves stuff along from month to month to do something different, and it seems like Marv wants to like stay with that quirky stuff and
right. Yeah, it does seem that way. Yeah, the editors must have had a hell of a time trying to wrangle this stuff. And this is back when it was just 3 books. Then they kept adding some more to it. They're like, because that wasn't complicated enough. Let's add some more books to this group.
Yeah, but at least by the time you get to 4 books a month, at least you get triangle numbers.
Yes. Yeah, and the editors had a lot of assistants. I noticed that.
Well, again,
the assistant editors were multiplying.
Yeah, I mean they don't do it anymore, but like back then, it's like all the I think they did it at Marvel and DC, where it's like, you know, when they had like these multiple books a month with like different creative teams, the creative teams would get together and like plot out the year.
Yes,
you'd hear about those meetings about and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall in some of those meetings. I would have loved to hear
some
of the ideas that were tossed around.
That's what I said, because like when we talk,
I want to hear the ones that were never used.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think
there's some gold in there.
I think the big Superman one is like when they did the Death of Superman originally, they were going to do the wedding then. And then I guess, you know, they're like, well, Lois and Clark's the TV shows come in and we don't want them married right away. So it's like, oh, I forget who they said. Was it Dan Jurgens or one of them was just like, well, why don't we kill him?
My thing is, evading me who said it because this person always said it. Like every time they did these meetings, they were like, what should we do with Superman? He's like, why don't we kill him? You know, and they're like, but this time they were like, yes, let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
My thing is, when did lining the comics up with what's going on in another medium ever work?
No.
I mean, again, they do that now, especially Marvel, where it's like they make
they do it now, but I feel like it never really works. I mean,
it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
When they did the rebirth of Supergirl, they changed it to be like more like the show, bringing in the secondary characters of the Danvers, changed her costume and all that. And
the CW show, yeah.
And then they try to change the Flash costume to make it a little bit more like it was on the TV show, but then the TV show changed the costume, and it just, you know, they've tried during the latter part of the New 52, they try to change Aquaman to resemble more like a Jason Momoa look.
Yes.
Never works because by the time you change the print and the style, it's changing again. Like it doesn't work.
You can never keep up with it. Yeah.
No, I mean, and I literally talked to a guy who had like a comic shop until like the pandemic hit and stuff. And he said like all those Marvel movies like Black Panther and like Endgame and stuff. He's like, that didn't we didn't get any kind of bump in sales on any of those books when those movies were out.
Yeah.
No, because they don't frame it so you're interested in the comics. Like the way the MCU and Marvel stuff seems more is people just are interested in the movies. They don't want to go investigate the comics.
Well, that's what I miss the days when they didn't care what the movies or TV shows did. That's like I said, when I started collecting Flash is when that John Wesley Shipp Flash TV series was on, and it was Wally West in the book, and TV show was Barry Allen. They didn't care. They were
right. I think
the biggest thing was I was reading Green Arrow in the New 52. The first part it sucked. Then Jeff Lemire came in and it was awesome. I mean, it is really good. I highly recommend his run in the New 52. But then they get the same people, Oz Guggenheim, who was doing the show, that all of a sudden they put them on the Green Arrow book, and they made Green Arrow into.
Oh yeah,
they brought in Felicity Smoke, they brought in Diggle, and they basically made the book like the show.
The show, right.
And I was like, and it just lost it because they didn't really feel like Green Arrow anymore.
Did they start drawing him like Stephen Amell?
I mean, New 52, they had him. They had de-aged him anyway, but
I was going to say because he had that beard and stuff in the comics for a long time.
That's like Sam Wilson now in the comics. Looks like Anthony Mackie. Oh my god.
I'm just like, does it ever really work?
It never works. It never works. And I think the biggest offender was in the year 2000 when they had the X-Men start wearing black leather in the comics.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was silly.
Just out of nowhere. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't understand why they can't have them be two separate things.
They think they get those people who watching the TV show or movies, and it don't work. If they're interested, they're gonna dive in no matter what you're doing.
I always thought it would be interesting or interesting strategic way for DC or Marvel to market their comic books to people during the credits of a movie.
That's what I said.
Be like, check out these comic books which inspired this film, and like for like Thor: Love and Thunder, you could show like the Jason Aaron stuff with the Gore the God Slayer and all that, the Jane Foster storyline. I forget who wrote that one, but they could show like a bunch of the covers of those issues and be like, check these out, if you're interested in reading more. Like they could show you the collections of where to find it. They could point you to Marvel Unlimited. Like
as I was gonna say, both of them.
Like, but I mean, there's a missed opportunity, I feel like, for them to not steer people in that direction.
DC kind of did that when I'm looking. I think it might be if like you watch a movie trailer under DC, maybe they started doing that. Like at the end, they would show a tease of like the comics and then have like a QR code pop up for like their streaming, their ultimate whatever service.
Right.
But I'm thinking like, why not have that? Yeah, right now I'm on DC YouTube and I pulled up the Blue Beetle trailer, and right as the last frame of the trailer shows, it says "Read Where It All Began," has 3 Blue Beetle comics.
The Jaime Reyes collections. Yeah, they did a bunch of those collections this year of the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle stuff, which I picked up a couple of those. They're excellent little collections. So that would have been another thing to pump at the end of that movie. Be like, check this out. You have collections of all the stuff.
Have a spinner rack at the theater.
Why not frame it in the theater, like at the end of the movie that you're watching? Help promote the books, the comics. Like,
yeah, I agree. That should happen.
Because
like Phil said, have a spinner rack at the movie theater. Have a table set up with the trade paperbacks, like where you can. It would be an easy way for the movie theater to make a bunch of money too.
I mean, do something, because it's like the people who create the comics aren't making money off those movies.
Right.
I mean, my thing is, if nothing else, if you want to push a product, you can easily have something like if you're going to if you're sending out, let's say we'll use Flash. When Flash came out, they sent out cups, popcorn buckets, and all that to theaters. Have a QR code printed on it.
Yeah.
That you can scan it. Maybe it brings up a menu or something that has the books that inspired it. You can go to Amazon to buy it, or
Mhm.
like, look for your comic shop, or it takes you to DC Universe.
Mm.
You
That
know what
would
I'm
be
saying?
great.
They're already
Yeah.
putting out material. I mean, let's face it, QR codes are a big deal. They're easy to print. You should be throwing those things on your merchandise. Like
Totally.
every toy someone buys should have a QR code to a bigger DC thing. Every T-shirt has a tag attached to it. Should be a QR code or something on it to just take you to the DC world.
Yeah.
I mean,
They could-
all those Arrowverse shows, they should have had commercials every episode of those for DC Comics.
Yeah, this is what's going on in the Arrow comics right now. Check it out at your local comic shop. That was a total missed opportunity. Same thing with Supergirl, Flash, all those shows.
Oh yeah, all of
the
those.
League of whatever that show was, League of
I mean,
Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah.
You just have your person, like one of the people from the show, like, hey, I'm Stephen Amell. Check out, Green Arrow comic books at your local shop. Something to really help. And I miss when they had the weekly DC All Access TV thing on YouTube where they were interviewing people like comic creators and the people from the shows. It was just a little, weekly show that they would put on on their YouTube channel that really helped promote what was going on. But I feel like DC don't even care about comics, period. Like if it's in the store, because if you go to their website, used to their homepage had stuff that was coming to the store.
Mm-hmm. New this week.
Yeah. And now most of it's geared towards what's new on Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think DC and Marvel, they're just like, the comics are there. It seems like they don't care anymore. We care. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Tyler's picture's right next to Superman Blue. Look at that. Look at that. I can hardly tell the difference.
Sure.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No, I think we covered everything. Yeah, this was an interesting little mixed bag of 3 issues. Yeah. But yeah, they were all really good. Yeah, there was a weird one in the mix, but yeah, they weren't terrible.
All right. Well, next episode we're gonna do a few more issues because we got at least 2-parters. So yeah, next time we're gonna do Superman 5 and 6. Adventures of Superman 428 and Action Comics 588 and 589. So
nice.
At least the Adventures of Superman one's is the only, just it's not a 2-parter. So
nice.
So yeah, so a little bigger next time. So
yeah, we get the mummy next time, right?
Yes.
The giant mummy. Oh yeah,
the mullet mummy on Monday.
Oh. Monstrous.
I love it.
And then the Action Comics, I believe the first one is Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and then the second one is the Green Lantern Corps.
Sweet.
All right, so so send us your thoughts on this week's, next week's. Send them all, kids. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, that link to the Patreon. Remember, you can find all Lilith Hellfire, all her drunken thoughts on Heroes Reborn from Marvel in the 90s. And the new episode is up now where Tyler and I review Mystery Men, the 1999 movie.
I'm looking forward to that. I love that movie.
Actually, already got some nice feedback on that from Batman's #1 fan. He really liked that episode.
Oh,
Batman,
nice.
My favorite character.
Right. So
very nice.
Join Patreon Elite with Justin, Ray, Russell, and Wazman Zor. But find everything all in one place. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All right. Tyler, if people want more Superman from you, where can they find that?
Find us on the Krypton Report podcast, anywhere your podcasts are, anywhere on social media. We just recorded a special episode that'll be out the end of this week, which this is live. So yeah, this Saturday for Batman Day, we recorded already our special Batman Day episode. It was a blast. So check that out on Saturday.
Very cool.
Batman Day. That's is that this Saturday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to remind Ray constantly.
Batman.
I was gonna go. There was some theaters that were doing the Nolan trilogy marathon, but like you had to buy individual tickets for, and we were gonna go and do it, but like they put it in like the smallest room.
No.
And like they weren't gonna start till like 3 in the afternoon or like 4. And I'm like, me and my friend were looking like we'll be there till like midnight.
Yeah.
I'm like,
wow.
why are you starting this like at 10 a.m.? You know, like
do the two Keaton Batmans. He was just in Flash, or
that was last year.
Mask of the Phantasm.
I want Mask of the Phantasm for the anniversary because I never saw it in the theater. I want to see it in the theater.
Yeah, that was last year at Cinemark here. They did Mask of the Phantasm and the 2 Keaton Batmans. And I just don't know why. Like, I was hoping that this year would be the 2 Schumachers, and then like next year would be the Nolan trilogy. So they're kind of like
consecutive. Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, but it was a different theater chain this year that's doing it. I'm like, I don't know why they're not doing it as like a Fathom event thing. You know, DC touched on with that, and so
deals.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. All right, Justin, let her rip.
Well, as I mentioned before, we do have a demon podcast, my friend Russell and I, where once a month we go through the 1970s appearances of Etrigan the Demon. And we also have Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, where twice a month we talk about the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. We also have Predator and Prey. We're joined by the High Priest of Khonshu, Ray himself, and our pal Sparky. We talk about Fox's Predator twice a month. And the Lost Library of Legends is finally out after a year and a half of waiting. The introductory episode is now available to listen to.
Oh my. And don't forget, once a month at the end of every month, we are the Batman podcast.
That's right. And Marvel Tales with
Marvel
Phil
Tales
once
every
a week.
Yes.
Can't forget those.
All right. So hold on.
Well, that escalated. Scream at!
The Lost Library of Legends escalated quickly after a year and a half. All right, kids. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, keep it mullet.
Again, you're going to get another mixed bag next week, but a bigger bag.
keep it mullet.
That's right, kids. So yes, read these issues. Yes, no, your kids grow mullet.
Yes, just say no to the mullet.
Amen.
At least a hero like Superman has the strength to tangle with the mullet, the dreaded mullet.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
He's the only one that has the strength and the power to handle it.
And again, Superman is just like the rest of us kids. The minute he was going to get married, his wife's like, cut that hair. That's what he cut it in that wedding issue. We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there.
All right, kids, come back next time. Truth, justice, in the mullet way.
That's right.